Think about that. I mean, okay, no counsel, no union rep, no, just it's summary. You're done, and you're going to jail. Big mistake she made, no question about it.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, coming to you with my pearl-handled pistol cufflinks. The bearded wonder is here with also our content genius. Our content genius that you guys know as Michael Rivers, my son and the man behind the plan. Today we're reacting to a body cam of a teacher arrested at school for public drunkenness. And this goes to... We did one of these before, and this is back by popular demand because people are asking for it. I haven't seen it, so we'll have to just see what it goes. But this episode is now brought to you by eSign.com. We're back to eSign.com. eSign.com, it's a very effective way to get a document that you need signed by somebody, and you don't have to be in the same room. eSign.com, my grandma uses it all the time when she needs bail, and she needs bail all the time. You have no idea. She's a recluse, but eSign.com makes doing any kind of business deal easy, an effective way to remotely do business. So go to eSign.com, find the link down below. If you have a business agreement, a purchase agreement for a motorcycle like my grandma did, or if you have a power of attorney or a retainer agreement, like I use it all the time when somebody is out of state or they can't come into the office for whatever reason, eSign.com. It's an effective way to remotely do business. So here we are in the workplace and we're drinking with children. What the fuck? I mean, honestly. But, you know, when people have addiction problems or they have problems or they use chemicals to medicate themselves, they don't always make the best decisions, do they? So let's just get right into this and let's see what happens with this teacher. And remember, you don't have to answer any fucking questions.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how we doing?
How are y'all doing?
Good.
Can we clear the room? This is Jennifer Davis.
Hi, Jennifer.
Nice to
Jennifer,
meet
how you doing?
You too.
So,
Hi, this is Jennifer Davis. And Jennifer, let me just tell you, you're sort of fucked here because we know that... No, I'm just kidding.
we talked to Miss Davis a little bit about some reports that we've received as late as this morning.
And let me just say this. She's sitting there, and if she's a normal person, she's shitting bricks. Her heart should be pounding like nobody's business. Unless she's fully medicated with some Jim Beam or some Smirnoff or whatever.
And so she understands, and she said she'd be willing to meet with you and talk to you.
Okay.
But we won't
And the water she just drank, let me just tell you, that's not going to do anything for her.
want to give you all some privacy, too. So is this a suitable
Yeah, this is fine.
place? Okay.
Yep.
We'll just step out here. How you doing from there?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, it's almost the end of the week.
Almost.
So what's going on today?
They said they had a report.
So in the foreground, you see the yellow box. Guess what that is? It's a PBT, preliminary breath test. Generally speaking, they're not admissible in court because they're not entirely reliable. But they are reliable to show that somebody's had some alcohol. Now, we know it's like, we're a couple weeks into the school year at least. So at least this gal has made it, more than just the first day of school. But honestly, to get called on the carpet because you're drinking around kids at the workplace, that's embarrassing, to be number one. But it's also indicative of a real problem.
They said they had reports where I was drinking at school, which has never happened.
Never happened? I don't think this video would be 23 minutes long if it never happened.
When was the last time you had anything drink?
Last night.
Last night. It's the old I drank last night story. The thing about it is, if you drank last night and let's say she's 0.16 right now. I have no idea. But if she's like over 0.10 and you drank last night, and what time, do we know what time this is? It doesn't say what time it is. But we know that if you're, if you got, you have to be really fucking hammered. The whole I drank last night bullshit is just a cover.
Okay. About what time did you quit drinking?
Probably about 10:30.
10:30. How much did you drink?
Just a glass of wine. Nothing major.
Just a glass of wine, nothing major.
Okay. All right. Well, would you be willing to submit to some tests
Yeah.
to make sure everything's okay?
Wrong answer. You say, no, this is bullshit. I want my union rep. I want my lawyer. Do I have to stay here? Am I under arrest?
All right. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to check you for HDM. Okay, this is what we call standardized field sobriety tests.
Which are also kind of bullshit in a way. The horizontal gaze nystagmus test is a test where they check the jerkiness of your eyes. You know, you go like this, and you follow the pen, but you don't move your head. And and every one of these reports is all exactly the same. All the language is exactly the same. Maximum deviation at 45 degrees. Blah 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 blah. There's all kinds of other things that you can have a naturally occurring nystagmus, and you can have medications that cause it. So it's not really, and it's not indicative of how much you've had to drink at all, but it is indicative that it's some alcohol.
Okay.
And if she's been drinking, guess what? Dumb shit. You don't have to talk to the cops, because here's the thing. I don't think she's under arrest at this point. She's free to leave, and unless they want to arrest her, and she's got no obligation to take the test. So, for example, if you're pulled over and you get drawn into the station, you're compelled to take the test because it's a crime not to. Not in this situation.
3 of them. I'm going to pretty much focus on the first one, which is horizontal gaze nystagmus. I'm going to have you take your glasses off, and I'm going to have you, we'll stand up when we do this, but I'm going to have you track my
I am
finger.
so blind without them, I can't hardly
Can you see something like my finger about
And you know what? I'm also kind of shit-faced, so...
Yes,
6 inches from your face? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's try that. Go ahead and stand up for me real quick if you would. Heel
Now, this is kind of stupid because she's going to put the guy 6 inches from her face. And guess what he's going to try to do? Smell booze.
heel toe to toe, arm straight down to the side. Okay. You say you wear glasses.
Yes.
Any traumatic brain injuries?
No.
Growing up or anything like
No.
that? Okay. Because sometimes that can affect what I'm
No,
doing.
I can't see without my glasses. That's all I was saying.
Okay. All right. Can you see that right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want you to follow this right with your eyes and your eyes only. Don't move your head. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just track on that.
I mean, first, I would tell him, yeah, I've had a head injury, whether I have or not.
Try to keep your head as straight as you can, okay?
And all he's looking for is the jerkiness. It's lack of smooth pursuit. That's what they call it. But every one of the police reports on a DUI is exactly the same. It's like they have one button and all this whole fucking paragraph comes out. I'm sorry, ma'am. You're not going to blow your way out of this one.
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
nervous, so
I get it.
And her being nervous, I mean, anybody when they get in the company of officers, I had 2 armed officers come to my house once, and they weren't there for me or anything that happened at my house. They were there for a neighbor, a couple doors down, her grandson, and but seeing a guy with guns, I mean, it made me nervous when I saw him, and so when you hear an officer say, "Oh, there were furtive movements. It appeared to be nervous and sweating." It's all bullshit.
Okay, we're gonna go way up this time. Okay, just follow right here. Okay. That's it. All right, this is what we call our portable breathalyzer machine. Okay.
yes.
You don't have to take the test.
And here's why I would tell her not to take the test. Let's say she's been drinking. How'd she get to work? If she drank before, she said, I didn't drink at all during the school day, right? And it was all from last night. So when you got in your car, you were shit-faced. That's what you're telling us? Now, depending upon what time it is, it's got to be usually within 2 hours of driving.
Okay. But this will show the presence of alcohol if there's any on
7.
board. Okay. But this again would be your
And notice she just took another big gulp of water.
opportunity if teachers.
And typically, you're supposed to wait for 20 minutes. On the main test, the data master, you're supposed to wait for, is it 20 minutes? I think it's, make sure that they don't have any mouth alcohol, from either throwing up or gum or whatever.
Your administrators feel that they smell alcohol on you, this would be your opportunity to prove this.
Sure.
Okay. You willing to take that test?
Yes.
Okay.
Stupid! Why would you do that? If you know you've been drinking, say, no, I'm not going to take that test. I know it's not reliable. They can't use it in court against me. And, if I'm not free to leave, well, then, and if you think I've been drinking, I won't drive my car. I'll get an Uber. I want a lawyer. I want my union rep.
You willing to take that test?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't.
You've been what?
I haven't had anything today.
Okay.
That's what
And
I-
if that's the case, or if there's nothing on board,
No,
because
I'm
sometimes what
just-
can happen, well, if people have had a really good one on the night before, it can carry over into the next day.
So what do I do?
As far as what?
You said it can carry into today.
It can. Sure can.
But if it's like the end of the school day, not likely she'd still have booze in there unless she was just shit-faced the night before. And chronic alcoholics can do that. And chronic alcoholics can also have a high tolerance for alcohol. They can be 0.20 and look like they're just normal people, which we saw in that last video.
I mean, if people get on like a week-long bender, or if they really tie a good one on the night before, the
But what did she say? I only had a glass of wine. Nothing crazy.
alcohol can still be on board. But I can't give you any legal advice to take it or not to take it. I can do is offer it to you. And it's your right to refuse it. But again, I'll say this is, if you're saying you're not under the influence of alcohol, this is your opportunity to prove to your employer
Yeah,
that
no.
you're not. So,
And it's not up to her to prove her innocence. It's up to them to prove her guilt. So she's going to give them evidence against her, which she does not necessarily have to do.
I mean, no, today I haven't had anything. But like I admitted to you last night, yes.
but if you have one glass
Oh, yeah, maybe I had a screwdriver, when I went out to my car at lunch. But other than that, I haven't had anything.
of wine last night and you didn't have anything else after that, one glass of wine isn't going to carry over into the next day.
No, I mean, I went to
Right.
sleep.
Okay. All right, so you want to take this?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I get a drum roll, please? And I don't know what she's thinking. I mean, first of all, when you have cops in there, cops represent an authority figure. And people don't like to question authority. They submit to authority, generally speaking, unless you're a little more savvy of the judicial system. But she knows, she's got to know if she's drank that day, and she's got to know that it's going to show that she's been drinking. And the cop just told her
I would just like to know who has said, like,
Well, ma'am, that I don't know. I was just called by the
I know,
administrators.
but I just,
I want to know who the bitch is that snitched on me.
Okay, what's going to happen is when this thing tells me it's time to blow, I'm going to have you reach over with your mouth and blow into that as hard as you can until I tell you to stop. Big deep breath, blow. Hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good. Good.
Now, .06, if that's where it ends up, is not terrible. If she only had one glass of wine, though, she kind of locked herself into that story, right? And so that would probably more indicate that she had some during the day at school.
I don't even know what that
0.06.
is. That
And what that .06 represents is what percentage of her blood is alcohol. So if you think about, if you were 1.0, that would mean 1% of your blood is alcohol. So it takes very little percentage of alcohol in your blood to kill you. In terms of like .04, it's like half of 1% basically. And now she's .06 or .40 rather, 0.4% would kill you. But .06, that's 2 or 1.5 almost under the legal limit.
You are just under the legal limit. So if you were to be out driving right now, you would be charged with DWI, driving while intoxicated.
And why is that? It's the legal limit. It's .08. Why would I be because if you're under the influence of alcohol, even though you're under the legal limit, there's no limit. It gives you kind of a false sense of security, right? If I'm .06, I should be just fine. If you're .06 and you're driving erratically and the alcohol has impacted your judgment and so that you are driving under the influence, then you're driving under the influence. And so they can't charge you with over .08, but they can charge you with under the influence, but they have to show that your operation of the motor vehicle would not be the same as if you had not been drinking. Does that make sense? They have, and it's actually a tougher burden.
Under the legal limit?
Just under it. The legal limit is .08, which is DUI. From a .06 to an 07, you could be charged with DWI.
I haven't had anything to drink today.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let Let me ask you this, is there anybody that can come and pick you up here at the school?
Remember we had this in the last one? And she hemmed and hawed and pissed and moaned, and all of a sudden he was done with her and had her arrested. This cop is being calm and being nice. See what she does.
Yes, but I don't.
Hold on just a minute.
And here's the deal. You know what? I had something to drink last night or this morning or whenever. The workplace should treat this like a disease or a condition, where she needs to get help and not just outright fire her. That's the way I look at it.
But I'm under the.
Hey, Major.
I can have somebody come pick me up.
Okay. See, let him talk to.
But I'm under the legal limit, right?
So under the legal limit just means that you're under the legal limit. It shows that there's alcohol in your system, so you are still technically intoxicated. You're just under the legal.
That is not true. You're intoxicated? No. Being intoxicated and over the legal limit are two completely separate things. And somebody can be intoxicated at one level where another person at the same level might not be intoxicated.
Legal limit of .08. Like if you were to be out driving right now and you got pulled over and you did SFSTs like you just did and did a breathalyzer, you could still be charged for DWI. Not DUI, but DWI. Okay? Does that make sense?
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. If I have somebody that can come pick me up.
That is going to be...
So, if she's not free to go, what's the one thing they didn't do here? What? Well, they're interrogating her, right? And they didn't read her Miranda warning. And so, but they haven't told her she's free to go. He did ask her if she could get somebody to pick her up. But she's really, I guarantee you, she feels like she's not free to go.
We need to see what Mr. Kinsey wants to do. And then, Major 7. You can space those out.
I love it when cops recite the law because 7 out of 10 times they're wrong.
It just makes me mad for somebody to say that I had stuff here. I've never,
Yeah. And like,
ever, and I know it's a small town.
So, if she didn't drink during the day, then she was probably higher when she left the house in the morning. And in that case, she was driving under the influence.
yeah, like Major Mallinson was saying that we're not privy to that information. We just get a call and come do it. You know what I mean?
I did child welfare for years.
Say that one more time.
I did child welfare for
Uh-huh.
years. I get it.
Yeah.
But just for somebody to be like so vicious to say like,
It's backed up in fact. To have somebody else say that I've been drinking when I'm only .06, does that make sense?
I just don't get it.
And that's one of the things that alcoholics do, and drug addicts for that matter. They lie. Everybody else is to blame. She's not blaming herself for this. She's blaming somebody else.
That's the right thing to do, but it's also the thing that will draw scrutiny and criticism from everybody in the community.
Because she's allowed to go home with someone else and not be arrested.
Yeah, I think the thing we'll have to do there, just to speak the school language here for a second with you, is just she's not going to come back.
Right.
She's going to give me a letter if we're going to do it that way. So I'm willing to go that way, or if she's not willing to give me a letter, resignation.
And that's something you'll work out between with her. But from a legal,
And think about that. If you're not willing to give me a letter of resignation, we're going to have you arrested. Is that not coercion? And that's kind of what I'm hearing them say.
from a legal standpoint, I'm going to go ahead and make the arrest.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So you're going to arrest her and take her from here.
Again, there's two ways now. You can view an arrest as she goes to jail, or I could cite and release on her own recognizance, provided she's got somebody that's sober that can come and take possession of her.
And so you're going to give her that option.
Well, no. That's the decision I'm going to make before I walk back in that room.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with that.
And for us, it's it's nothing. Our job is not to judge. It's just our job is to do our job.
No,
So.
I trust me. I was CPS.
Yeah.
I know.
CPS is Child Protective Services. That's where you take kids away because the parents are unfit.
I used to tell my clients, I'm not here to judge you the way your house looks or anything, but there's
Right.
a reason I'm here.
I took some people to court yesterday that I had arrested, and he said, "Man, I really do appreciate you still treating me like a human being."
Yeah. And,
So.
and knowing that means a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you say your name was?
Jennifer Davis.
Jennifer. Okay. Do you have your ID with you?
And
It's in your purse?
yeah.
In just about every scenario where you have somebody with a chemical health problem, a lot of times they're given the opportunity to go to treatment and fix it. But when you're if you're a surgeon, or if you're if you're in charge of children, or you're drunk on the job as a cop or a firefighter or a paramedic, you're entrusted with some people in their welfare. So you got to have a little bit higher standard when it comes to this kind of thing.
Okay.
I'll go get
She'll
it.
go
Where's
get
your purse at?
It's in my room in my cabinet.
Okay. Is there anything else that you
See, they never once told her she was free to go. So that means she was detained, and they're going to say, well, we never told her she was under arrest. But see, they just restricted her of her movement just then, right? So that's kind of one of the standards. She's in a locked room with 2 armed police officers. She's not free to go. So all the admissions or anything she said generally would be excluded under the a suppression hearing for fruit of the poisonous tree. In other words, what I'm trying to say is they didn't Mirandize her, so any information they got from her can't be used in court.
Where's your purse at?
It's in my room in my cabinet.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would need? That I can get it in.
Just my purse and my key. Whatever I need.
Okay. It's all in your purse.
My keys are beside my purse.
Okay.
Jennifer, what's your phone number?
What is happening?
Okay, Jennifer, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a portable breathalyzer machine. It reads a little lower than what the actual intoxilizer, which we utilize at the police department, it reads lower. This came up a 0.066.
I have not had any, that's what I'm saying. I haven't had anything today.
Okay, well, again, and I don't know your drinking habits. Okay, I kind of explained that to you
Yes.
before I put you on the machine. Okay,
Yes.
if somebody drinks a lot, and if they run with a normal BAC of, say, about a 0.06 or 0.08, that's what feels normal to them. Okay? When they start to get below that, that's when the onset of withdrawals kick in. You just start getting the shakes and not feeling so good, and then you drink a little more to get feeling normal again.
Sure.
That BAC will still be up here. Okay, from a legal standpoint, you're still intoxicated. I'm comfortable enough to let you know if you were to be put on the actual intoxilizer that you'd be up around 0.12, 0.13 area. Okay.
That's total guess, and that's ridiculous. So it'd be double. So your device is so off that it could be double the legal limit. That's ridiculous. That's why. That's one of the reasons that you can't use the PBT in court, because they're not accurate. So if he's saying that it would be double, then it really isn't accurate.
When I checked your eyes for horizontal gaze and nystagmus, you had every clue.
Everybody's got every clue every time. You never hear that they don't.
The onset of you had the lack of equal pursuit.
And if they don't have any symptoms, guess what they do? Oh, then you must be on drugs.
You had the onset of nystagmus prior to 45 degrees, and you had nystagmus at max deviation.
Didn't I tell you? Isn't that what maximum deviation at 45 degrees? Blah, blah, blah. They press one button and they get a whole paragraph. They don't really do that, but that's what it seems like. Every report is exactly the same.
Okay. If I had pulled you over, I'm going to be honest with you, you'd have been arrested for driving under the influence.
Okay, that's what he was explaining.
Yep. Okay.
Can I have somebody pick me up?
Well, I've got
Please.
a legal obligation. Okay. You're here.
What's the crime? What's the crime she's getting arrested for? The only thing that I can see is public intoxication. Maybe child endangerment, but I think that's a stretch.
Entrusted for the care and safety and the
But
for the
I
teaching of these kids.
understand, but
Okay. No, today you're going to be arrested for public intoxication.
Which is usually just a ticket. You know, I mean, what's the purpose in arresting her and taking her to jail on that ticket, especially when she's going to get out like right away anyway? We have too many people that are arrested for low-level offenses, get low-level bail, and maybe they make it, especially the people who are indigent, where they get, $100, $200 bail and they don't have a pot to piss in. And so they sit in fucking jail on these low-level sentences. I don't know. With her, I don't see, as Michael was talking about earlier, the utility of the arrest here.
Okay.
But I certainly wouldn't take the test when I got back to the station. She's under no obligation to do that. It's not a driving case.
Please don't do this.
Please don't do this. Please don't do this. Guess what? That just makes them want to do it more.
And I will resign.
That's something you're going to discuss with the administration here, that I've made my decision. Okay. It's zero tolerance. Okay.
Then why did you ask her if she could have somebody pick her up? Why did you ask her that?
I would just like to know who report. And I did not drink today.
Well, I'm
That's
going to tell
what
you from a legal standpoint, when people call in and report a crime, of any crime, we're not in the business of telling people who made the report.
I
There's
know
reasons
you can't.
behind that.
I
Okay?
understand that.
However, once you get to court, you have to know, because they got to put them on the stand and talk to you about it, because you have a right, Sixth Amendment right, to confront your accuser.
Okay.
So, you're taking me to county?
Take
And
me
it's
to
gonna be
jail.
a municipal charge. I'm not going to run it through the district court. It'll be through the city of Tecumseh. It'll be a municipal charge of public intoxication. Okay?
Lawyer, 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 lawyer. Now you're under arrest. I want to talk to a lawyer.
In terms of your employment here, Jennifer, we can't move forward with you, a teacher here any longer.
Okay.
If you want to resign, that's your option. If you choose not to, though, I would be forced to go to the board and ask for your termination based on
Best thing she could do is resign.
the outcome of today. So, anytime
I would like to resign.
there may be
I don't get what the utility of the arrest here is. Yeah, is it bad that she's in charge of kids and been drinking? Absolutely it is. But she's cooperative. She did everything that they asked her to. She's not being belligerent. She's not like the other chick. Remember the other chick wiped out the fucking glass when everybody left the room? I mean, that I can see. That's obstruction of justice. She's just a hapless drunk. And so let's get her some treatment. Clean her up. You know, this and a public intoxication is as low a level offense as you can get. You know, there's a couple different kinds of cases. There's a misdemeanors and felonies. Anything over a year and a day is a felony. Anything less than a year and a day is a misdemeanor. And this is a very, very, very low level misdemeanor.
You got one?
the state mail, Department of Education, may be involved in revoking your certification as well. That'll be up to them.
Get her driver's license.
Did somebody do her purse for us?
Yeah.
You got it right here.
Can
Yeah.
I not?
And the teachers board, I don't think would revoke her certification. I think they would give her the opportunity to get treatment. I mean, that's what should happen here.
Not be handcuffed out, please. I'm not gonna run on you.
Well, I know that.
It's
But it is.
Procedure. We have to. It's our process. It's our policy. It's our procedure. We have to put your handcuffs behind your back.
Listen to me. The police department operates under policies and procedures, and I can't treat you any more different than anybody else, or we're setting ourselves up for liability.
That's fine. But it's
Now,
just,
I'm not going to run you down the hallways and page you through.
my child is in the 3rd grade hall.
Where's the classroom window at?
I
It doesn't face out to this parking lot right here?
don't
No?
know.
Okay, we'll be okay then. Would your ID be in here?
Yeah, I can get
I'll
it.
get it for you. Once you're in custody, we have to search all belongings, okay? Is there anything in here I need to know about?
Just my medication that I take daily.
So now that's another issue. Searching her purse. Her purse is, a private bag, and but under what condition can they search it? They don't have a warrant, so a warrantless search is generally unconstitutional. However, if there's exceptions, you're taking her purse into custody, so they have a right to look at her purse for 2 things: 1, weapons, and 2, to ensure for an inventory search because they're taking it into custody.
Jennifer, with Maisie being here, is there someone we can contact for you?
Yeah, that's her kid. Her kid's in 3rd grade and sitting at the school, and she works at the school. How ridiculous is that? How are you gonna feel, when your kid has to go back to that school and sees other kids, and oh yeah, your mom got fucking arrested for drinking on the job. I mean, that's just absolutely humiliating for a kid.
My sister, can I call her now? Can I call my sister,
I'll let you do that.
please?
Let you do that.
Please.
Is she on the pickup list?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You take any prescription narcotic?
I take Xanax.
When's the last time you took that?
Go ahead.
This morning.
morning?
I take it, and then it's prescribed by
Is
my
that for
doctor.
anxiety?
Yes.
Okay.
So taking a little bit of bars with the booze. I'm surprised you're not nodding off right now.
Clear.
It's so messy, but on the side is where my license is.
Clear. 7 Central, 1 by OLN.
You will be picking Maisie up today. Okay, well, they're taking me to jail.
Sam
so
082.
God, wouldn't it suck to have to make that phone call? I mean, and it's just, you know, I know I goof around a little bit, you know, but it's just alcoholism is a disease. You know, she's got Xanax on board, and if she's got some booze on board, you know, those two do not mix together well. Some people, I'm not going to name who, but say they go together like peanut butter and jelly. But it's just sad to watch somebody's life go down the fucking toilet, isn't it? I mean, we're sitting here, you know, I'm reacting to this, you're sitting here watching this, and then she's plastered all over the internet. I mean, so not only does she have the humiliation of, you know, drinking her own kids, you know, and then the cops arrest her, she's got this public humiliation that we're doing right now. But one of the things you can take away from this is if you know somebody that's in a situation like this, get them some help and be a help to them, you know, as best you can.
121670.
somebody called in and said, I don't know all. No. Yeah. Last night.
So, if you remember in the last video we did like this, the woman was deathly afraid that her husband would find out. You know, having a sister, you don't get the same judgment from a sister that you might get with a husband or a spouse. Unless you guys are on the same page and you both have been drinking the night before and, you know, you're drinking that morning.
Nothing. Am I going to count, like, where am I going?
To the safety center. It's on
To the
177
safety
and Leo.
center.
Just
It's
log
the
on.
same thing.
Now, explain to her, ma'am.
Do what?
Once you're booked in, like I said, it's a municipal charge of PI. Okay?
It's a municipal
It is a bondable charge, so as soon as you're booked in, somebody can come.
7 to 3.
And that's what I'm talking about. You know, it's a bondable charge. You know, in other words, she probably has to pay a couple $100 or $100 and get out. What's the utility in that, honestly? What is the public utility? Shame, inconvenience, punishment, you know, and maybe that has some value, I suppose, but it really clogs up our system. Give her a ticket and let her, I mean, she's already lost her job.
No.
See, this is why I could never be a judge, because I can never put people in jail. I don't like it.
No. Shelley, I was drinking this morning. That's what nobody.
All right, time to go. Get off the phone.
Is there anybody that can come out there and get me? Anybody? Okay.
7 to 3.
Do you think, but you will be able to pick up Maisie? Okay,
Yes, sir, I was.
bye.
Which name?
Burglar alarm. I was gonna see if he could take that burglar alarm call.
Jennifer, if we want to go ahead and take care of the letter here, there's one that's been drafted for you. If you prefer to write one, that's fine.
Think about that. I mean, okay, no counsel, no union rep, no, just it's summary. You're done, and you're going to jail. Big mistake she made, no question about it.
We need to get you to sign it and just put today's date on it if you're in agreement for that. It's the 7th.
Okay. Again, our policy and procedures state anybody that goes into that ship can be handcuffed. Yeah, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work with you a little bit, okay? You remain calm, we're gonna handcuff you up front.
Do what?
We'll handcuff you up front, not in the back.
That's fine.
Okay? All right.
Alright, go ahead and put your hands in front of you with your thumb
Damn, I want some fireworks. There's no fireworks here.
facing up, please.
What is my, is this gonna go like on the news? Mr. Kinsey?
Chances are it will, Jennifer. I don't.
I represented a principal one time. Oh my God, was he involved in some just prolific stuff, and stealing identities and credit card numbers and passwords and all that kind of stuff. And he ultimately wound up taking his life because he got a lot of jail time.
Have control over what they put on the news, but there's a good chance that once this gets reported, then there will be statements we'll have to release.
And it'll be on the internet for eternity. So people will see your body cam footage of your arrest.
And notes we'll have to send home to parents. And
so in 2 days, this video has got 1.5 million views. She's plastered all over the internet, and it's gone viral. I'm not hearing that anybody was harmed. I mean, I'm not negating the seriousness of what she's done in terms of being in charge of children and being intoxicated or being under the influence or whatever. But does she deserve that scorn? Does she deserve that scarlet letter, that public ridicule? I think it's good that people can see this from the standpoint that what not to do and the consequences. I mean, we all make mistakes. And it's part of the reason we make mistakes is because we don't see what's going to happen tomorrow. What are the consequences? I guarantee you she didn't anticipate these consequences, have being plastered all over the internet. But the public intoxication charge is really a nothing charge, and I handled stuff that's way more serious than that.
then news reporters will probably show up. I will be as discreet as I can in terms of how I handle it.
Could we, please, I've never been in trouble in my life.
I understand it, but again, that's not up to me. I'm not going to go pushing anything out there until they show up if that happens, okay?
You did not?
We also have some employment laws that would prohibit him from disclosing certain things.
We've got to respond and let people know that we follow our policy and have to involve the police department.
Yeah.
Go from
Is your fob, where is your fob, Jennifer? Up to the
It was
building?
on my key.
Okay, did you get that back? It's the gray.
It's
And her
the
classroom
light gray.
keys are on there too.
Yes.
The classroom keys are the ones that are probably connected to that green.
Those right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go.
I mean, quite honestly, this is painful to
And
watch.
is that all of it for the school?
Jennifer, is your,
Yes.
your school device here at school?
Yes, it's in the
People don't go into schools and work with children because of the pay. They go into it because of their love for kids, their love for the environment, their love for education. And it's just sad to see something like that just go down the drain.
You'll go with this officer here.
Yes.
Jennifer, just follow me. We'll go to my car and take you up to the jail.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for arresting me. Thank you for fucking up my life because I just wanted a cocktail over the lunch hour.
Go this way. 7 Central, 10:15, 1 female.
Anyway, so that's our reaction to another teacher arrested while she's drinking at school. You know, the alcohol does funny things to people. You know, alcohol can be a fun thing when done in moderation. It can be a destructive thing, and it can ruin people's lives, just like any other drugs or other bad habits. So my advice to you is if you've got an issue, deal with it. Deal with it head on. If you can't handle your booze and you got to drink every day, deal with it head on. And make it so that it doesn't control you. You control it. So I'm Bruce Rivers with our content genius, Michael Rivers. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon because we're doing some good work there. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, police is at my goal.